She belongs to me.
Anene East. A tail slamming into the water, sending waves crashing against the banks.
You dare to challenge the will of the gods?
She is my blood. I will not live without her. Gathered around my children. For tonight, we journey to the ancient kingdom of Ezeaku, a land of beauty and secrets, where the mighty Eyim River holds the souls of the lost. This is a tale of a prince, a forbidden truth. Listen well, for the spirits are watching. In the heart of the great land of Ezeagu, where the mighty Eyims River snaked through thick forests, stood a kingdom untouched by time. The land stretched far and wide, blessed by the gods with fertile soil, rolling hills, and sacred groves where the spirits of ancestors whisper in the winds. The air was filled with the scent of blooming hibiscus, and the calls of hornbills echoed through the three. At the center of it all was the palace of Eze Odumeze, the great ruler of Ezeagu. Its compound, built from red earth and adorned with intricate carving of past kings, stood as a symbol of power. Tall guides with spear lined the entrance, their body painted in the sacred markings of warriors, their faces stern under the midday sun. Women wrapped in vibrant Ankara fabrics with pattern of stars and moon, balance clay pots on their head as they hum ancient tunes. Their voices blending with the rustle of palm leaves. Children with beads in their hair run barefoot across the palace courtyards, their laughter ringing like bell in the winds, chasing after a wooden ox with stick. But beneath this beauty, a dark secret whispered, a secret that had been built, buried deep in the Eyims River for many years. A secret that was about to be awakened. It was said that the first son of any reigning Eze must never set foot near the Eyims River. For if he did, the river goddess Anene would claim his soul. The elders whispered this warning during moonlight gatherings, their voices low as if the river itself might hear. Hmm. On a night when the sky burned red with the fire of a blood moon, a cry echoed through the palace hall. Hmm. The queen has given birth to a son, and came the heir to the throne. The palace erupts in celebration, with drummers beating the talking drums, their rhythms announcing the birth to the kingdom. Women dance in the courtyards, their wrapper swelling like flames, while men share palm wine, toasting to the future Eze. Yet, as the midwives rejoiced and the kingdom celebrated, the ancient diviner, an old man whose face was wrinkled like three bags, stepped forward. His name was Mazi Okeke, a seer whose eyes had seen beyond the veil of the living. His voice trembled as he drew mystic lines in the sand with his nail staff. The moonlight casting shadows on his withered hands. This child is destined for more than a throne. He is bound to a curse written in the river's depths. He is not alone in this world. Wow. The Eze's face darkened, his grip threatening on his staff of office, carved with the symbol of his lineage. He knew what the prophecy meant, but he could not afford for the truth to be known. Silent old man, he growled, his voice echoing through the courtyard. Speak no more of this, or you will test the rest of the Eze. He ordered the diviner to be silent and banish him out to the outskirts of the village where no man's live. Nkem grew into a strong and curious young man, trained in the ways of the warriors and scholar. He learned to wield a spear with the precision of a leopard, and his mind was sharp, absorbing the wisdom of the elders. He often heard the villagers speak of the Enyim's river forbidding powers. But no one would tell him why. It is not for you to know, my prince, they will say, their eyes never meeting his. His curiosity burned like an unquenchable fire, a flame that will lead him to his destiny. And so the years passed, and Kem grew into a fearless warrior, never knowing the shadow that followed him. Hmm. At the age of 18, Nkem stood in the palace training ground, his bare chest glittering with sweat under the midday sun. He thrust his spear into a wooden dummy, his movement swift and powerful. As the royal guides note in approval, you will be a great Eze, they said, their voice filled with pride. But as Nkem whipped the sweat from his brow, he overheard two elders whispering near the sacred Iroko tree that stood at the edge of the ground. The river, it called to him, one said, his voice trembling. The curse of the first son, it cannot be undone. The other elders shook his head. The Eze should have told him the truth. The gods do not forgive secrets. Nkem at raise. What truth? What cause? He vowed to uncover the mystery, no matter the cost. It is well, though, it is serious. As Nkem became a man, his curiosity led him to the back of the forbidden Enyim's river. The river was said to be haunted, its water holding the spirits of those who had crossed over before their time. The elders warned all to stay away, but the river whispered to Nkem in ways he would not understand. At night, he would sit by his window, gazing towards the forest, feeling an unseen pull as if the river itself was alive, calling his name. Then one night, as he lay on his bamboo mat, a vision gripped him. A woman, her skin glittering like moonlight on water, called his name from within. Hmm. Her voice was sorrowful, haunting, familiar. Come to me, child of the crown. Find what was taken from you. Her eyes were a deep blue, filled with a pain that spices his soul. Her white hair flowed like the river itself. He woke up with a start, his chest heaving, his wrapper damp with sweat. Who was she? The vision felt more real than any dream, as if she had stood in his room, her presence lingering in the air. He touched his chest, feeling a strange ache, as if a part of him was missing. The next night, unable to ignore the pull, he came venture into the darkness, his heart pounding with both fear and determination. He slipped past the palace guides, his bare feet silent on the earth, a machete trampled to his waist, and a small amulet given to him by his mother hanging round his neck. The Eyims River shimmered under the full moon, the water still, reflecting the stars like a mirror. Nkem approached curiously, his heart pondering, the machete in his hand trembling. The trees swung in warning, their branches cracking like the voices of the ancestors, and distant drumbeats from the village seemed to fade into nothingness. Then she emerged. A figure rose from the water, her long white hair flowing like liquid silver, her form both beautiful and terrifying. Her eyes glow with a deep, sorrowful blue. And when she spoke, it was as if the water itself had found a voice. You do not know me, yet we share the same blood. Nkem staggered back, his matches falling to the ground. Who are you? He demanded, his voice shaking. I am your sister, Mma, the one they left behind. The truth hit him like a spear to the chest. A twins, a sister, a soul stolen at birth. The weight of it threatened to crush him. He fell to his knees, his hands digging into the earth, his mind racing. How can this be? Our father made a pact, she continued, her voice filled with both pain and power. To secure his kingdom and his throne, he offered one of us to the river. I was the price of his crown, born to Anene, the river goddess, for eternity. But you, Nkem, you can set me free. Hmm. Strange confusion and disbelief born in Nkem's chest. His entire life has been a lie. Why did he not tell me? He whispered, his voice breaking. Why did he let you suffer? Ma's eyes softened, but her voice was firm. Save me, Nkem. Free me from this prison. Only you can break the pact. Hmm. It is well. The next morning, Nkem stormed into the queen's chambers, his eyes blazing with anger. The queen, a regal woman with a wrapper of deep indigo and gold, sat weaving a basket. Her hands trembled as she saw the furor. in her son's face. Mother, Nkem said, his voice high and dangerous. Did you know? Did you know about Mma? The queen's hand frozen, the basket falling to the ground. Her eyes filled with tears, but she would not meet his gaze. I had no choice, she whispered. Your father said it was the only way to save the kingdom. The gods demanded a sacrifice. Nkem fist clenched. A sacrifice? She was my sister, my twin. How could you let this happen? The queen reached for him, but he pulled away. I will right this wrong, he vowed, his voice cold, even if it meant defiling the gods themselves. This is getting serious. Determined, Nkem sought the elder's fear, the same one his father has cast out. He traveled to the outskirts of the kingdom, where the forest meets the barren land, a place of desolation, where the air was thick with the scent of decay. The old man, Maazi Okeke, now fared yet filled with wisdom, sat outside a small hut made of wood and palm fronds, his eyes staring into the distance. He nodded when Nkem spoke of the vision, as if he has been expecting him. Hmm. To free her, you must face the gods themselves, Maazi Okeke said, his voice like the rustle of the dry leaf. This path is not for the weak. The river will not let her go so easily. You must undertake 3 trials to prove your worth to the ancestors, to the earth, and to the underworld itself. He handed Nkem a small pouch of sacred herbs tied with a red thread. This will guide you, but only your heart can lead you to your victory. Nkem ventured through the forest of forgotten souls, where the trees were twisted, the branches forming shape like tormented faces. Spirits whispered lies, trying to break his mind. You are nothing, they hissed, their voices echoing in the mist. You will fail, just as your father did. Shadows of his past appeared. His father's stern face, his mother's tearful eyes, the villagers who had once cheered for him now turning away. Nkem clutches the pouch of herbs, their scent grounding him, and remember the teaching of the elders. A man without control of his mind is a man already defeated. He silenced his fears, pressed forward, and emerged from the forest, his resolve stronger than ever. Wow. At the mountain of whisper, Nkem faced howling winds that carry the voice of the long departed. Each whisper is deepest fear and doubt. You are not worthy. You are worthless. The voice shouts. You will bring shame to your lineage. Shadow of the past tormented him, accusing him of forsaking his duty as the first son. With his mind nearly unraveling, he remembered the elder's words and closed his eyes, focusing on the memory of Mma's sorrowful voice. He pressed forward, climbing the rock, his hands bleeding until he reached the peak. Atop the mountain of whisper, a massive golden hawk, guardian of the gods, descended from the sky, its wings casting a shadow over the mountain. Its talons were sharp enough to cut through bone, and its screech pecked the air like a war cry. Nkem fought fairly, dodging its deadly strike, his spear flashing in the sunlight. The Octalox grazed his arms, drawing blood, but Nkem did not falter. With a final desperate lunge, he struck the ox's wings, pinning it to the ground. The ox cringed in defeat, and Nkem plucked a sacred feather from its mighty wings, its golden glow illuminating his eyes and face. He has passed the first trial. Thank God. As Nkem descended the mountain, the wind itself took form, a swelling spirit with eyes like storm cloud, its voice a rowling glare. You have taken the feather, but you are not yet worthy. You are still worthless and useless. It bellowed. Answer my reading, or I will scatter your soul to the four corners of the earth. The spirit reading was ancient. I am taken from the earth, yet I live in the sky. I am born of fire, yet I am called to touch. What am I? Nkem thought deeply, his mind raising, and he answered, Ashes. Ashes is taken from the earth in fire, rising to the sky in smoke, and is cold when it falls. The spirit shouted in frustration, but let him pass. The wind calming as Nkem continued his journey. At the forbidden baobab, a massive tree with roots that stretch deep onto the ground. The ground trembled as Nkem dug through its roots, unearthing ancient bones and spirits of warriors long forgotten. The earth beneath him opened, pulling him into a vow of endless darkness. That's another wahala. The spirits of the earth mother appear, a form made of soil and wine, a voice like the rumble of a landslide. Why do you disturb my rest, child of Ezeaku? She demanded. To save my sister, Nkem replied, his voice unwavering. The Mother Earth tested his resolve, demanding that he choose between his own life and the life of his past. With great humility, he surrendered himself to the will of the ancestors. Kneeling before her, he said, I am but a vessel for justice. Moved by his sacrifice, Mother Earth wept, and from her tears, the sacred relic emerged, a small glowing orbs of amber, pulsing with the heartbeat of the earth. Before reaching the underworld, Nkem faced the fire spirit. In a clearing where the ground burned with eternal flames, the spirits with bodies of fire and ices like amber danced round him, their heat burning his skin. Prove your courage, mortal, they hissed, their voices cracking like flame. They formed a ring of fire, daring Nkem to walk through it. Nkem clutched the sacred feather, its glow protecting him. He stepped into the flame. The flame roared, but he emerged unscratched, his resolve unshaken. The fire spirit bowed in respect, granting him passage to the underworld. This was the most harrowing trial. Nkem ventured into the forbidden land of the dead, where no living soul has ever returned. A river of blood blocked his path, its crimson water swelling with the scream of the damned. and only those who has faced their own mortality could cross. He walked through the crimson water, where the spirit of sacrifice clutches to his ankles, trying to pull him down, and turned at his flesh, whispering temptation and threats.
Stay with us.
They shouted.
You will never save her.
The water turned black, the air thick with the stench of death, and came vision blurred. As the spirit voices grew louder, as his breath gave way, he accepted the truth. Life is borrowed, but honor is eternal. What a pity. With fearless determination, he stepped forward, his hand clutching the sacred feather and the amber relic, their combined glow pushing back the darkness. He emerged on the other side, the earthstone glowing in his hands, a crystal as red as the river, pulsing with the power of the underworld. The spirits shouted in defeat, and the gates of the underworld slammed shut behind him, the sound echoing like a thunderclap. Thank God. Now, deep beneath the Ames River, he came face the final echoes of his trials. The river's depths were dark, where the water burned like fire, and the air was thick with the whisper of the dead. He swam through the current, his body aching, his mind tested by vision of his father's betrayal and his sister's sorrows. Each trial had nearly cost him his life, but he can endure through fire, through darkness, through the whisper of the dead. He emerged ready for the final confrontation. The earthstone feather and the relics glowing in his hand. A testament to his unbreakable spirit. As Nkem returned to the Ames River, a storm raged. The sky black with cloud, lightning illuminating the scene in flashes of white. The goddess Anene, half human, half serpent, rose from the depths, her scale shimmering like obsidian, her eyes glowing with a cold ancient fury. A serpent tail coiled around the river, and her human's form were adorned with necklace of bones, her voice a hiss that shook the earth.
She belonged to me.
And in a hiss, her tail slamming into the water, sending waves crashing against the banks.
You dare to challenge the will of the gods?
But Nkem stood his ground, the earthstone glowing in his hand, the sacred feather stuck into his wrapper, the amber relic hanging around his neck.
She is my blood. I will not live without her, he declared.
His voice steady, his eyes burning with determination. To complete the ritual, Nkem had to offer something of great value, his own royal birthright. With unwavering resolve, he declared, a crown means nothing if built upon blood and sorrows. I renounce my right to rule if it means restoring my sister's soul. He placed the earthstone feather and the relics at the river's edge, their glow illuminating the storm, and raised his hands to the sky, offering himself to the gods. Lightning crash, the river swell, its water rising like a wall, threatening to swallow him whole. And then Nkem did the unthinkable. He offered himself in Mma's place. Take me instead, he shouted, his voice echoing over the storm. Let her leave. I will take her place in your prison. The gods, watching from above, saw the truth in his sacrifice. Then a deep voice, like the rumble of the earth, spoke from the heaven. You have proven your worth, child of Ezeaku. Your heart is pure, your spirit unbroken. The storm parted, revealing a golden light, and Mma's spirit rose from the river, her form glowing with a soft, radiant warmth. Her chains shattered, the sound like breaking glasses, and she stepped into the bank. Her feet touching the earth for the first time in years. She looked at Nkem, her eyes filled with gratitude, and whispered, Thank you, my brother. With a final defeating row, Anene vanished beneath the water. Her power broken by Nkem's sacrifice, Ma was free. Hmm. Nkem and Ma returned to the kingdom. Their arrival met with gasps and whisper. The truth shook the kingdom to its core. Eze Odumeze, filled with shame, could not meet his son's eyes, his royal staff trembling in his hands. The villagers gathered in the palace courtyard, their faces a mix of wonder and fear, as Nkem recounted the trials and the path his father had made. You sacrificed my sister for your throne? Nkem asked, his voice cold, his eyes shining. You built this kingdom on a lie. Father, why? The Eze fell to his knee, his crown slipping from his head, rolling across the red earth. Forgive me, he whispered, his voice breaking. I thought I was saving Ezeaku. But Nkem shook his head. I will not rule under a name tainted by deceit. Instead, Mma, now free, stepped forward, her presence commanding. Her white hair glowing in the sunlight, she declared herself high priestess of Ezeaku, vowing to save people and serve the gods, and the people with truth and honor. The villagers cheer, their voices rising like a wave as they accepted her as their new spiritual leader. Nkem, however, chose a different path because he was disappointed at his father. He disappeared into the forest, leaving behind his royal title, his name becoming a legend whispered by the fireside. Hmm. Under Ma's leadership, Ezeaku flourished. The Enyim's River, once fair, became a place of healing, its water clear and pure, reflecting the sky like a mirror. The villagers built a shrine to honor Nkem's sacrifice, carving his image into the sacred Iroko tree, a warrior with a spear in one hand and the hearthstone in the other. Mma lead annual ritual at the river, offering kola nuts and palm wine to the gods, ensuring the kingdom born with the ancestors remained strong. But in the quiet moment, she would gaze into the forest, wondering if her brother would ever return. And so, Nkem's name became legend, a tale passed down through generations, whispered beneath the sacred Iroko trees, the prince who defied the gods, the warrior who walked between words. But as the fire died down and the night glowed still, the elders said that Nkem's journey is not over. For in the shadow of the forest, a new threat stared. And the gods are not yet done with the children of Ezeaku. Is this really the end? Or is this the beginning? Watch out for the part 2, the final part, where the secret of the forest will be revealed and Nkem's destiny will be fulfilled. Until then, my children, honor the gods, keep your promises, and beware the whisper of the river.